Alright lads, so we have a contract offer from Red Bull at the mid part of the season. If you want me to drive for them for the remainder of the season, then vote for Red Bull in the comment section below. Also, if you want to stay loyal to Ferrari, then vote for Ferrari in the comment section. So we'll see which one is the winner, and I'll make my decision before we go to Spa. So without further ado, let's get into the Hungarian Grand Prix. So, here we are in Hungary, probably one of my weakest tracks on the entire calendar, but nonetheless we're going to try and do our best to possibly get another podium in this season. Can you believe it? We've got 7 podiums so far this season. It's been an absolute dream so far, but here we are in qualifying 3. We've been showing a decent amount of speed so far this weekend, and we'll look to continue that and maybe get pole position for this weekend's Hungarian Grand Prix. So coming into turn 1, braking at the 100-meter board, brake nice and late, turn in early, and get on the power as soon as you can. Open DRS before you head up to turn 2. Only 30 seconds left in this session, so we're just looking to get the best time we can. We set a banker of a 124.3 on a used set of tyres, so we'll see how much we can improve on our older time that we set earlier in the session. So far going green by 3.5 tenths, only 2 tenths shy of Hamilton's pole position so far. So already Hamilton having a good session, not having his engine blown up like he did in the real life Grand Prix. But either way, coming through this middle sector now, and I think this is where I'm going to make up most of my time, because I'm running with 11-11 wings this weekend. I just feel like Hungary, it's a track where you demand, high downforce, high aero, and I think that might play into our hands a little bit. And I've also gone with a very old engine, the oldest engine that I used at the start of the season, so it's at about 88% wear. I just thought for power unit management, I thought I'd go with the oldest engine and then have a lot of fresh engine units at the back end of the season. We'll try and use that to our advantage. But anyway, coming through the final corner, seems like a bogey corner for me, as I just couldn't hit the apex at all throughout the weekend, and we go 5th place. So it's an okay qualifying result, but when you consider we were, 200ths down through the middle sector, it's a little bit disappointing to see that we lost so much time in the 3rd sector. But looking at our race strategy here, doing a 2-stop, doing a double option and prime stint, this could really go either way. We could really risk it, do a 1-stop, park the bus, and potentially get a win if we can hold them up. Or if the tyre wear is bad enough, we could switch to 2 prime stints throughout the race. We'll see how we go. As you can see, going through the setup, we can see we've gone for something different. I've really gone for rear traction and cornering grip through aero, and just reduced, rear springs and anti-roll bars. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully the tyre wear is good, and we can get at least another podium in this race. Wish me luck. Alright, so here we are on the grid of the Hungarian Grand Prix here in Budapest, starting from P5. We've got our teammate Fernando Alonso right in front of us. Hopefully we can come into turn 1 and hopefully be ahead of some of these guys. And away we go here in Hungary. Looks like Vettel getting off to a fly there. He might be challenging both Mercedes as he comes into turn 1 now. We're getting mugged left and right by Hülkenberg and Ricciardo as we break early into turn 1, just not trying to take too many risks. Hamilton runs out wide by Alonso, so that's not done his position so far too well. Going 3 wide now into turn 2. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? It looks like it's us, and Hamilton sneaks past Alonso as well. Ricciardo going from P7 up to P3, so this has been a fantastic start from the Australian so far. We'll try and look to get in front of him as soon as we can, but that Red Bull is going to be very quick at this track. High downforce as we go up the inside into turn 5, and we get the move done. So lots of positional changes here at the early phase of this Grand Prix. As we can see a replay of us going up the inside of Ricciardo there. We can see Hamilton has dropped off. He was up in the podium positions, and now he's well behind Ricciardo and company. Vettel up in a second. Rosberg now leads this race. So this is turning out to be quite fascinating in terms of the championship battle so far. We'll look to at least try and catch Vettel if we can. As you can see, lap 5, trying to push as much as I can. I can only manage low to mid 25s, and that's pretty much on par with what everyone else is doing, to be honest. So not really making too much ground. As we can see, lap 10, the tyre wear started to kick in, and then after that, the AI really started to pull away from me, especially the leaders. And now we can see the cars behind me, including Ricciardo and Hamilton, and now starting to edge up onto the back of me. They've been looking threatening on the DRS straights since they've been a lot faster, but they just haven't been close enough to get the move done. So we'll see how that progresses as the race goes on into the second and third stints. But now we're coming in for our first pit stop, going on to the primes now. We were scheduled to go on the options for this stint, but I thought I'd try out the primes, and we'll see if they're good enough in comparison to the options. And if the tyre wear is bad enough, we may as well just switch to primes. So I thought I'd go safe here on the first stop, because if I would have gone for the options and the tyre wear would have been terrible again, then we would have been stuck with a really long prime stint at the end, and that would have really killed us in terms of track position. So we'll see how this goes as we rejoin on the track. We're still in P6, but it's not too bad. You've got Gutierrez behind us, who's holding up Hamilton and Vettel and co. Oh no, Vettel's in front of us rather, so I think he was holding up Ricciardo and Hamilton behind us. So that did us a little bit of good, as we can see going purple there on a 15-0, or 25-0 rather, as lap 17. We can see Hamilton is now caught up to the back of us. He got back in front of Ricciardo, and now he's trying to attack us as we go defensive into turn 1, just trying to go up the inside of Hamilton, and we maintain P3 for now. So it's looking very edgy at this phase of the race. I'm not really confident in terms of my pace. Hamilton, of course, on the option tyres. He's the only one who's actually gone onto the options for this stint, so that's actually quite surprising. So that's going to be very interesting after he makes his stop in about 2 laps time, or maybe even on the next lap. So he's going to have a massive undercut on us, and then at the back end of the race, we're going to have to push as much as we can on option tyres to try and catch Hamilton again. I think it's going to be a fascinating battle here for this final podium position, so we're going to have to push as much as we can, try and burn maybe a bit of fuel after Hamilton makes his stop to see if we can maintain a bit of our pace. As we can see, lap 21, Hamilton still hasn't stopped yet, so this is looking good for us. The longer he stays out, then the sort of less laps he has in undercut to try and pass us, so we'll see how that goes. At the end of lap 21, he pulls into the pit lane now. I believe we're scheduled to come in on lap 25, maybe even lap 24, so this is the time now that we need to push on dead tyres, and then once we put on the option tyres, then we'll try and push as much as we can once again. As we can see, trying to stretch out our tyres, we can see Alonso is now caught up to the back of us, and we can see that we sort of lost touch with the leaders now, so it's a little bit frustrating. I think Hamilton for sure would have jumped us. He did rejoin in a bit of traffic, so it's going to be interesting to see if we can actually jump him here in the pit stop stages. Ferrari has the pit stop. 3.7 seconds, so yeah, fairly standard stop there from Ferrari. Rejoining on the track, we can see a lot of cars on the main straight there, so it looks like we're getting jumped by quite a few cars who did do the option stint through the middle part of the race, so they've definitely got the undercut here, and we're going to need to overtake quite a few cars, starting off with Felipe Massa. I'm not actually too sure if these guys have stopped yet. I'm not too sure. This race is quite confusing with the amount of various strategies that people were running, but we can see Massa is on the primes, so he's either made his second stop and he's on the primes now, so we'll have to pass him for 7th place effectively. So we'll use the DRS to try and get past him if we can. Bit of fast revs as well. I think we've got +1 lap of fuel that we've been saving up throughout the race. As you can see on the main straight, just flying past that Williams. Even though we have 11 wings, it's still enough with the DRS that we can fly past them. But lap 26, getting almost balked there by Marcus Ericsson, who just continually gets in the way in this career mode championship. He's definitely the worst backmarker I've seen so far this year. But either way, lap 29, we're trying to close in on Hamilton, and we have a penalty. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Codemasters. I only cut, what, 1 or 2 corners? And that was enough for me to get a penalty. So that's completely screwed us out of getting a podium in this race. And unfortunately, with only 5 laps to go, we have to come in for a drive-through penalty. And this is probably going to put us at the back end of the top 10. So this has been absolutely ridiculous. I think this is actually the first time in my entire career on YouTube that I've ever got a penalty for corner cutting, which is pretty surprising if you know me from my AOR days. But either way, we're going to have to serve the penalty. There's nothing else we can do. We're going to try and cut through the field as much as we can with only 4 laps left to go. Our tyres aren't in the best shape, to be honest, so we'll see how we go. As Massa is now behind us as he passes us on the DRS straight. So surely when we saw him the first time, he didn't make his second stop, and now he has. So he's on fresh tyres, and now he's threatening us with his straight line speed. But unfortunately for him, it wasn't enough. Our straight line speed was just good enough to keep him behind us in the end. But coming across the line, we finished in 6th place, and I think it's our worst finishing position this season.
That's 8 points. Good job.
So there we go. The Hungarian Grand Prix has been done and won by Nico Rosberg. Sebastian Vettel makes it a 1-2 in the end for the 2 Germans, I guess, if that is even a thing. Lewis Hamilton in 3rd. So this is going to cost us a few points in the championship. Valtteri Bottas not finishing, so too with Max Chilton. So we'll see as we head onto the Drivers' Championship. We're 2 points clear of Hamilton now, so it's getting really tight now as we head into the second half of this championship. Rosberg closing in as well on 53 points. So the next race in Spa will be 100% race. If we can hit 2,000 likes on this video, lads, get liking, and the next race should be an absolute cracker. In terms of the constructors though, 2 points separate Ferrari and Mercedes, so just like the drivers' standings, it is ridiculously close heading into Spa. So that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure you vote for the team I should drive for the rest of the season, either Ferrari or Red Bull. The fate of my career mode championship is ultimately down to you guys. So that's been this video for today. Until the next race in Spa, I'll see you guys next time.